Automobilista 2 recently was updated with them adding the 2025 Nürburgring layouts. And today we are going to see how it actually compares to the 2020 version in both daytime and nighttime. So first of all, we're going to see the comparison during daytime, where we have the 2020 layout there and the 2025 one there. And we're going to see how they differentiate between each other. And also, the car I was driving is the Formula High-Tech Gen 2 Model 2, because I know it quite well and it's quick. So if we just get started here, you can see the big difference at the start is you have the green hell sign here. You also have, on the 2025 version, you also have a Sabine Schmidt's Kurve Falken sign, whilst here you don't have a corner sign, because I don't believe this corner was named back then, and also you have some weird German sign. And now, if we just go a bit further, we will see a few more clear differences. So you can see here there are Yokohama corner signs, whilst you have Falken over here. Okay, so I believe if we go back a bit, we will be able to see one of the main differences. Yeah, over here. I mean, wait. Here. So you can see on the 2025 layout, they've actually added these LED signs, or what you want to call them, which have like flags and show other useful information. You also have, which we will see further on in the circuit, you have a lot more of these, what would you call them, like speakers on the side of the track. So I mean, like, most of the actual circuit is the same. Yeah, so most of this is the same. The actual first part, I feel like there aren't really any differences. You can also see I'm going quicker in the 2025 version, and I don't know if it's actually due to surfaces or what it is, but I was like a few seconds quicker in the 2025 version. So here you can see a few things where you have like this top, or what you want to call it, over here, covering the view of the track. I also have this little house, which you don't have on the 2020 version, which is quite interesting. And then now we will be getting to like one of the major changes. So first of all, you have Xiaomi on here. Was on the other one you will see in a second. You will have I believe it's Yokohama sign. But something else I just want to point out, or actually I can just point it out when we get a bit further. Yeah, you have Yokohama here. Going down here through Vauxhall, I told you that in the 2025 version you could go very straight, and in the 2020 version you had to go quite a lot, or you had to do quite a lot of zigzags to actually get down. Whilst in the new in the new mesh of the 2020 version, you can actually go, you do the exact same movements as in the 2025 version. So that's something which is good that Razer have added. Then also on the 2025 version, I believe there are a few different curbs and signage, and also a new, it's been resurfaced, this whole section. So you can see here, it's the tarmac is a lot blacker over here, whilst here it's grayer. So that's a very clear difference. Then also from here you will see my racing line is quite different on the 2025 layout compared to the 2020, because if we can just go back forwards here, you can see here you have a huge curb which you can't touch at all. If you touch it, it unsettles the car a lot. So you really want to avoid it, which makes the coming corner a lot harder because you want to try to keep this at a high speed, but also, yeah, it gets quite tricky because you have to take a wider line, which means you get the tighter entry. So if we just go forwards a bit, you can see on the 2020 layout, I'm attacking the corner a lot more. I'm actually going on the curb. Don't know if it's much quicker, but it makes that corner a lot easier to drive. That I will tell you. And yeah, this whole section is very similar. I wonder, it doesn't seem like the trees are too different. I think they are 2D on the 2020 version. I think they're the same on the 2025 version. But yeah, most of these things are roughly the same. You will see like it's mainly exterior. For most of the circuit, it's mainly exterior objects which are different. On this, in daytime at least. On the circuit, the version you're hearing is the 2025 version because that one was a bit quick, I believe, if I remember correctly. And also here we come to a section where it's quite different. Here you have this Motorsport 9 Kang signage on this barrier through this corner, which I don't remember the name of. Yeah, does it say? So that's basically, that's a difference when coming down here. Whilst yeah, you can see here there's no real signage. Yeah, it's the 2025 version which I have the audio of. And then soon I believe it's close to the very quick left-hander, close to Porsche Killer Curve, I think it's called. That's where the big difference is. And I don't know why it's so laggy. If anybody knows with DaVinci, they can comment it down below. It could be the applications I'm running simultaneously. But I believe here is a bit resurfaced. You can see here. I think that's new. Okay, so it is a new. But I believe Renato mentioned a bit of... Here it is, where it's new. You can see it's very black through that corner. Whilst it's grey on the 2020 version. So yeah, there aren't really that many differences when you think about it, actually. But it does feel, I will just say this, that it does feel a bit different because we're going over these undulation points, or I should say the resurface spot. That's where you feel the big difference, because it feels a lot less bumpy due to it being resurfaced. And that is what feels different. But yeah, I mean, this circuit hasn't really changed a lot over the years. I mean, you drive I believe it is the 1971 layout in Automobilist 2. Drive that one. I mean, the first section, first few corners, yes, are very different. And the surroundings are different. But if you actually drive the circuit, it's not too different. The only real difference is the bumps, which is the same thing with the 2025 version. So you could sort of say that the 2025 version is sort of a modern version, whilst the 2020 is historic. So you can think of it as like that, where that the price difference is actually just buying a newer version, even though the layout isn't that different. So here is also resurfaced, I believe. This the jump, because if you look, yeah, it's blacker at least. And the jump is still there. But if we have a look, there wasn't so much of a jump. Yeah, it's not so much of a jump there. But I think in real life it is a bit different. Because if I recall correctly from Misha's videos on this resurfacing, the aim for the Nürburgring isn't to change the track as in the layout, and also they want to keep the intended, what should you call it, altitude differences, so like the dip. They want to keep the dip, they don't want to smoothen it out. They want to keep it as planned. So if there was a bump which unsettled the car, which I think there was in a few parts which I've got to resurface, those are resurfaced, and now they aren't there, which was planned from the beginning that there was going to be a bump there, but because of a lot of cars driving on it, it produces bumps, but now they've just removed them. So I mean, it's just gotten into a better condition, you could say. And also this section is also very I believe basically identical. The only difference is, as I said, the trackside objects. And then through here, there aren't real changes until you come to the Döttingen Höhe, which is a straight. There, the straight is completely resurfaced when compared to the 2020 version, and that means you can clearly see that the 2020 version is a lot bumpier than the 2020 version, the 2025 version. So that's something you can think about, that when it's chill, it's a bit more chill. Then also this last section is also being resurfaced and also changed. And when I cross the finish line, those audio and video will cut out. And so basically those were the differences. So if we just go back a bit, we can just see like the tarmac. You can see here, you can see the tarmac is very different. And that's about it for the daytime, but how does it compare during nighttime? Okay, so I move positions again, and here you can see the 2020 version. So this is on the 2020 layout, 24-hour version during a test day session. And as you can see, it's quite pitch black. On the recording, or at least the screen I use for the recordings, it looks not fully pitch black. It seems like the brightness is a bit higher, but on my main monitor it looks very dark. So you can see that that's a big thing about this picture, is dark. Whereas if we go to the 2025 version, you can see you have a lot more stuff on the side of the circuit. So basically the main differences in the dark is you actually have more light due to these fans. And I think that's what's causing the light here. I think it's properly simulates like the light pollution, where you can see it's a lot bright. The sky is a lot brighter the 2025 version compared to the 2020. And that's due to the light pollution. And I accidentally deleted that image. So if we go back and think about it, what are the actual main differences in both dark and in what you want to call it, in the nighttime and daytime? Well, daytime, I've discussed it for you, so basically resurfacing a lot of places, trackside objects, and yeah, like 1-2 curbs, which are the main differences. Well, so if you think about nighttime, the big differences are the trackside objects again, but now they produce light, and it causes it to feel more party-ish, more like an actual race, and not just you going through some German forest with nobody watching. So I mean, it's the 2025 version is more immersive. So should you actually buy the 2025 version? Think of it like this. This is a track which layout hasn't changed a lot ever since it was built. The major changes, you could say, have been the first few corners, which have been changed to make it a bit shorter. Then otherwise you have a few undulation points, which are different, and also resurfacing. So in general, the track hasn't changed. So what you're paying for is, I would say, a layout which is more up to date, more accurate in a way, because I would say both are the same, but yeah, more modern, and it also looks like it has had more time spent on it due to the trackside objects being there and a lot of other things. So I feel like it is worth it if you like the Nürburgring. If you don't like it so much, then the 2020 version is works completely. And I believe it will get also the Joker Lap and the Touristenfahren with the 2020 and the 2025 version will get them. So you won't be really missing out on a lot, in my opinion. But what do you think? Comment down below. And whilst you're down there, please hit the like button and also subscribe. My next video, we'll have to see what it's on, because I have gotten a video idea from a few pals on Discord, which I might be making. You have a few other things, which it doesn't come to mind, but the next video will be an interesting one, that I can guarantee you. But until then, I've been Resi Legend, you've been my amazing first. Thank you for watching, goodbye!